Hello, I'm Janice Maddock with the Integrative Movement Institute and the Integrative Movement System. If you've been following your newsletters from your regular IMS practitioner, you know that this year in 2022, we've been talking to you about building a good foundation, especially when it comes to doing your core exercises. Traditional core exercises that have been taught and believed for a long time in the fitness industry now actually can perpetuate the exact issues that oftentimes we're trying to fight against or solve in our own bodies, like low back pain, neck pain, hip tightness, hip pain. Oftentimes these well-meaning cues that have been with us in this industry and movement industries for decades, oftentimes will perpetuate the problems we're having. I know that's really hard to hear. And as a kid who grew up and a college kid in the 90s, 80s and 90s, who I watched Tammy Webb and I did buns of steel and thighs of steel and I squeezed and I squeezed and I squeezed. And every weightlifting program I did before and after had those exact same cues. Now spending over 20 years in the movement industry and manual therapy industry, I can now see how that has been affecting and continuing to drive the issues that my clients have. And your IMS practitioners will attest to that as well. So we've been spending all of this time with you thus far this year to help you rethink and understand why common cues of pull your belly button in or squeeze your abs or squeeze your glutes or bring your shoulder blades down and back, how these are so counterintuitive to how our body is meant to move. So we created workouts of the week. And these workouts are going to challenge you, not just physically in the way that you would think normal traditional exercise does. Rather, it is going to test you in feeling what's happening in your body. Or maybe for you, you're gonna feel, I don't feel anything happening in my body when I'm doing this. And for you, that may be exactly what you need right now. What do I mean by that? Because that sounds a little crazy, even as I heard myself say it. What I want you to think about is if you can't do an exercise without pulling your abs in or squeezing your glutes or pulling your shoulder blades down and back, you probably shouldn't be doing that exercise. If you can't do a simple band pull without pulling everything in, if you can't do a simple bridge exercise without pulling everything in, it means not necessarily that's a bad exercise for you. It just means, especially if you're a person who does struggle with front hip tightness or glute pain or back pain, upper back, neck pain, low back pain, neck pain, there's a better strategy for you. That's really what I'm trying to share with you. There's a better strategy for you to do these exercises that will help alleviate your discomfort over time. I'm not going to promise today you're going to feel different because that wouldn't be appropriate. What I will tell you, and what thousands of our clients would say the same thing, is reframing how you look at the exercises you do. You will achieve the results you've been searching for. And each of us has our own individual story of success using these exact same strategies. So let's get started in today's workout of the week. We're going to look at 4 simple, not always simple to do the way I'm going to ask you and show you how to do them, 4 simple exercises for you to do to start building a core and spine and hip complex or joint system that is going to allow it to sustain the test of time. Common cues like pull your abs in will actually put undue stress on your spine. They will actually set you up to lift and move in ways that are not, in a way your spine is not designed to bear load and lift things. So just bear with me as I take you through this simple activity. So go ahead and you're going to put your hands on your low back. So put your hands here on your low back. And do that common cue of pull your abs in and feel what happens along your spine and in your back when you do that. Pull those abs in and just feel that pressure starting to build in the muscles and along your spine. We're meant to have this gentle curve in our low back. It's not meant to be flat. When we use that common cue of pull those abs in, it actually begins to flatten our low back. Think of the way that most people sit in a chair. What position is their low back in? It's not in this gentle curve this way. Oftentimes it starts to curve this way. It's not how it's meant to be. That's what I want you to think about today as we go through these exercises, because I'm not going to tell you to pull your abdominals in while we do these exercises. I'm actually going to remind you to not do that. We are going to use your breath as the system that helps stabilize your spine. You're going to use your breath. So I want you to follow along in this workout of the week, 4 exercises. What you're going to need for it is a strap. And then you're also going to need something to support your head and neck. We're going to work on breathing. We've already been doing this through this entire series already leading up to this workout. We have 3 simple principles in the integrative movement system. Alignment. That means you're aligning your joints appropriately. That means your spine, it means your hips, it means your elbows, your shoulders, your ankles, your knees. When you're moving, you want to do the best you can to keep those joints aligned. Breathing. You must maintain your breathing, 3-dimensional breathing. We're going to go over that today. You must maintain 3-dimensional breathing, and you must control those things, your alignment and your breathing, as you go through your exercises. So let's see how we feel, how our body is feeling today, so we can then see if these exercises we're doing are helping or hindering the idea of releasing us from this chronic tightness, maybe even pain, and increasing the quality of how our body actually moves. So let's go ahead and get started with our simple assessment. Okay, we're gonna go through a few simple assessments. I want you to stand with your feet about hip width apart, just comfortably, and just get a sense of your weight over your feet. Close your eyes, focus on your feet. As you do that, where do you feel the weight in your feet? Do you feel the weight equally distributed across both feet? That means it's distributed between your heels, the ball of your foot, the bottom of your foot. It feels even. Or rather, do you feel the weight more in one foot, the side of one foot, more in your heels, more in the balls of your feet? Just get a sense of where you feel the weight in your feet. Good. Now go ahead and bring your feet together as best you can. Put your hands on your hips, just below your hip bones. And you're keeping your feet flat on the floor. Turn your whole body to the right as far as you can go and come back to center. And then go to the left. Come back to center. Go to the right. And as you do this, do you get a sense of it's just easier to turn one way versus the other? Do you feel like you kind of get stuck, or there's a ratcheting motion as you try to turn one way versus the other? So we're always looking for the range available side to side. Is there a difference? And then what does the quality of that motion feel like? Does it feel smooth and easy? Or do you know that it just, gosh, it isn't really easy and it's not smooth at all? Okay, arms at your sides, thumbs facing towards me, keeping your elbows straight and your arms close to your head. Go ahead and bring those arms straight up overhead and back down. And as you do that, does it feel easy? Does it feel like your arms just float up, or does it feel like it takes effort? And if you watch me here, you can see as I bring my arms up overhead, this arm stays close to my head, but my left arm wants to drift off. There's something's not quite perfect over there. Not perfect, but something's definitely a little amiss on that left side. So I'm gonna keep a note of that, like, ooh, my left side is not going the same smoothness as my right side. Now, turning your head to look over your right shoulder, come back to center and your left. And as you do that, again, notice, does it just feel easy to turn the head, or do you feel what we would call a little bit of crankiness? And is there a difference in the range? Like, how far can you go to the right, coming back to center, and then to the left? Do you notice an increase or a decrease one side versus the other? Okay, then finally, you're gonna go ahead and stand onto your right leg, then onto your left leg. And as you do that, do those legs just easily come up, or is there effort? And do you feel like you have to really bring your weight all the way over before you can lift your leg up? Just get a sense of what that feels like. Is it easy? Is it smooth? Are you able to balance one side versus the other? Just get a sense of that. If you want to, go ahead and write a couple of notes about what you felt difference in your neck, your shoulders, in your hips, and your single leg stance, and your weight on your feet if you want to, because we're going to compare it at the end. So make sure you have your strap, make sure you have some kind of head support, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to lie on our back. Okay, so we're going to go ahead, we're going to lie on our back. Now you can watch if you want to, but I encourage you to just go ahead, lie on your back, really make sure that you feel like your head and neck are fully supported and it's comfortable. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to talk you through this three-dimensional breathing, but we have the head support there because you remember our A is for alignment. So I want to make sure that my head and neck are fully supported, because as I'm going to do my breathing, I want to make sure that breath has a clear passage into my lungs as I breathe. So go ahead, place your hands on your hip bones with your fingers pointing down towards your pubic bone or in toward that fleshy part of your lower abdomen. As we do our breathing, we're going to breathe in and out through our nose, slowly and gently. Now, here's going to be that part for maybe some of you, especially if you're not familiar with doing this, where it might challenge your mind as much as it challenges your body. So actually just lying here, I want you to get a sense of, do your abdominals feel relaxed? Do your glutes feel relaxed? And do your head and neck feel relatively relaxed? If they aren't, just tell yourself to let them relax. So feeling your hands, get a sense of your hands in your lower abdomen and pelvic area. Feel them there because this is your kinesthetic cue to your brain, but where you want that breath to go. When we breathe well, it helps support the deep muscles of our core, the deep muscles, like muscles called our transverse abdominis, which is our natural internal corset, our psoas muscle, which really is attached to our spine and our hip to help stabilize them, as well as our other deep spinal small stabilizers that stabilize our spine segment to segment, as well as our pelvic floor muscles. They all work together when we breathe. That's why breathing is so important. So feel those hands in that lower abdominal area. And I want you to, as you breathe, imagine or see your breath going down into your hands. We're never going to push the breath. We just want to see the breath going into this space. So as I breathe in, connecting my awareness, my intention, these are not froofy words, my awareness and my attention into that space where I want the breath to go, because I don't want to push it there. It's more of a gentle sending the breath into that space. So a nice gentle breath in. Start that exhale and allow that breath to come gently out through your nose. Connect again to your hands, gently breathing in, send that breath down. And a nice full gentle exhale, allow that breath to come all the way out through your nose. Breathing in gently. And a nice full gentle exhale, allow that breath to come all the way out. Good. We call it three-dimensional breathing because our diaphragm, the main muscle or primary muscle of respiration, must be able to expand in 3 dimensions. So if you can comfortably wrap your hands around your rib cage. Ladies, this is going to be the level of your bra strap, then just below the nipple line, or you can use that strap and you can wrap it around that area. So I'm just using this now as my kinesthetic cue. My arms are relaxed at my sides, and I'm bringing my awareness to the strap along the sides of my rib cage. Just pause a moment there and feel that. You're now going to allow your breath to gently go out into the sides of the rib cage where you feel that strap. Your arms are relaxed. Start that exhale and allow that breath to come out. Gently breathe out towards the strap. And a nice gentle exhale, allowing that breath to come all the way out. Out towards that strap. And allow that breath to come all the way out. Out towards the strap. And allow that breath to come all the way out. Nice job. Now, go ahead and just give a little tug so you can feel the strap or connect to the strap along the back side. This is the third dimension of our 3 dimensions of where we want our breath to be able to expand into. Now, when we think of our breath, it's an internal breath. It's not this big external breath that we push. Think of our lungs being inside our rib cage, so the breath is internal. So again, feel the strap, connect to where you feel that strap on that back side. And gently think about sending your breath towards the strap as you inhale gently and exhale gently and fully. Connect the breath to the strap. A nice full gentle exhale through the nose. Into the strap. A nice full gentle exhale. Allow that breath to come completely out. Now with 2 more breaths, see if you can connect that breath to low down by your pelvic bones, into the sides and along the back side. So 2 nice gentle breaths connecting low to the sides and along the back. And a nice full gentle exhale. Allow that breath to come all the way out. One last breath. Allow that breath to go low, out into the sides and along the back. Good. Now go ahead and take your strap, bring it out to the front. Now we're going to start to move our arms and legs in coordination with our breath. So I'm going to hold the strap between my hands, elbows are relaxed at my side, palms facing towards each other. And this is what the exercise is going to look like. I'm going to take that nice, gentle 3-dimensional breath I've been working on. I'm going to start my exhale and I'm going to let my arms float over my head, stopping if I feel any tightness or impinged type feeling. Then I'm going to start my inhale and let my arms float back down to my sides. Now, if you notice, I did not say pull your abs in or squeeze your shoulder blades together. We're not doing any of that. We are going to focus on using our breath through the exercise, which will in turn help activate our core muscles as needed as we move the arms. So set this up with me. Elbows are relaxed at your side. Palms are facing towards each other. I'm holding onto the strap with about 1% effort. It's really not any effort at all. I'm not white knuckling the strap. So I'm going to send in my nice 3-dimensional gentle breath in through my nose. I'm going to start the exhale. And again, the idea of just letting my arms float. I'm going to start the inhale and let them float back down. Exhale and let them float. Inhale and let them float back down. Remember, just check in, those abs are relaxed, Shoulder blades are relaxed on the floor, and there's no white knuckles holding on to the strap. Gentle breath in. Start that exhale and let those arms float overhead. Start that inhale and let them float back down. Exhale, let them float overhead. Inhale and let them float back down. One more. Exhale, let them float overhead. Inhale and let them float back down. Now, if you felt the need to do that exercise more quickly than we did, it's not the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is to work on your breath and controlling the effort you use as you do the exercise. There's no reason to squeeze or pull anything as you're lifting a very weightless type of strap over your head. We're really working on honing our alignment of our spine as we do this, not using these strong gripping, pulling type activities to do simple activities. So now we're gonna go ahead and add our legs. So you're gonna bring your feet together and we're gonna go into a marching pattern. But again, we're gonna be focusing on using our breath to stabilize our spine. So check in right now, get a sense of where's your spine in relationship to the floor. It should feel relaxed. You shouldn't feel like you're pressing it down. Remember, we're meant to have a gentle arch in our back. I don't want this big arch, but we are meant to have a gentle arch in our back. So my feet are together, and this is how we're going to do this one. I like to just rest my hands with my thumbs in the sides of my abdomen, my hands just on my hip bones, because what I'm doing is I'm monitoring my hip bones, because as I do this exercise, there shouldn't be a lot of rocking back and forth between my hips because my abdominals are controlling that with my breath, That's the only way it's being controlled, not by me pulling my abs in or squeezing my glutes. So my hands are here resting. I'm going to have a gentle inhale. I'm going to start the exhale, and then I'm going to let the leg float up. And as I start my inhale, the leg will float back down. Remember, my hands are on my hips because I'm looking to make sure as I do this action, there's not this excess motion. The only motion is directly at the crease of my hip where my thigh bone is moving in the joint. That's the only thing that's happening. So do this with me. We take a nice gentle inhale. I'm going to start that exhale through my nose, and I'm just going to float my right leg up off the table. I'm going to start that nice gentle inhale and let it float back down under control. I'm going to note that my pelvis stays easy and level as I exhale to lift the other leg up. Start my inhale, and it floats back down. Exhale, floating up that other side. Gentle inhale, and it floats back down under control. My abdominals, the only pressure in them or tension is from my breath. Exhale, let the other side float up. Gentle inhale, and it floats back down. Exhale, the other side comes up. Gentle inhale, and it floats back down. Exhale, not pulling my abs in. The leg floats up. Start that inhale, and it floats back down under control. Exhale. That leg floats up. Inhale. It floats back down. Exhale. Floating that other side up. Start that inhale. And it floats back down under control. Nice job. When you're done with that, you shouldn't feel this of letting your body go. That means you were holding tension and you weren't using your breath to help control what was happening. So let's go ahead now. We're going to come up and we're going to go into our squat pattern. So roll to your side and come on up. All right, so we're going to go into our squat pattern. Okay, we are going to go into our squat pattern. We're going to use all those same principles we were just using, our alignment, our breathing, and that idea of controlling as we go into our squat. Now, our alignment for our squat is really important for maintaining everything we just were working on and really working on creating better spinal health and hip health and just getting that idea of moving more efficiently. So we're going to bias a little bit so that we can focus on the mechanics. We're actually going to do the wall, what we call the wall squat. So part of our setup, think of the side when you were doing your single leg stance that you struggled with. Like, did you feel like you had a little less balance on your right or your left side? And you're going to go ahead and you're going to put that side that you struggled with a little bit more onto the floor first. And what I want you to think about, we're going to talk a little bit about foot alignment. I want you to feel like you feel that weight. Put the weight so it feels distributed across your big toe, base of your big toe, base of your small toe, and your heel. Put your hands on the wall, straight out from your shoulders. Pick up that other leg and set it down. That same idea. Feel like the weight's on the base of your big toe, base of your small toe, and heel. Once you feel like you have that, again, just reset your hands on the wall. Good, and feel that weight. Now, take those hands, go to the base of your neck. Slide up till you feel that little bump or protrusion on the back of your head. Put your hands just underneath there. And I want you to think about somebody's gently pulling that little bump or protrusion up towards the ceiling. Up that direction towards the ceiling from underneath that. Now we're working on getting your neck in good alignment as we go through this. So you kind of already noticed everything we do is based on how does your alignment go and are you controlling your breathing? So as we go through our squats, depth is not our importance right now. Our importance is, are you maintaining your alignment and your breathing and controlling both of those as you're going through the squat? So I've got my alignment of my neck. I've got my alignment of my feet. My hands are on the wall. If you want, you can take a step back, but reset those feet. With this, we're going to breathe in. We're going to start the exhale, which helps activate our deep core system to help with our alignment. I'm going to start that exhale, and then I'm going to go down into my squat. I am maintaining the weight over that big toe, small toe, and heel. I'm going to start my inhale with the idea of floating back up. I'm going to exhale. I'm going to go down into my squat. I'm going to inhale and come back up. Start that exhale and then go into that squat, maintaining the weight over that foot tripod. Start your inhale and come back up. Relax for a second. If you notice, I was more important about what was happening here because this is my core. My core is from my head down to my pelvic floor, those bones I sit on, my sits bones. So I want to make sure as I move, those are moving as a unit. So I don't want my head to extend like this. I stop before it wants to do that. I make sure that this whole area moves together as I go into my squat. The motion is happening here at my hip joint and then at my knee joint. My spine is staying in alignment. My head and neck are staying in alignment. I'm not pulling my abs in, not squeezing my glutes. That's going to pull things out of alignment. So again, let's set that up. I've got my length from the back of my head towards the ceiling. I have my hands on the wall. I'm going to pick up that, I'm going to put that foot down that I felt a little less balance on. I'm going to feel like I have the weight over my big toe, small toe, heel. I'm going to pick up that other one and set it down in the same fashion. The weight is over my big toe, small toe, heel. I'm just going to check in because we're talking about good strategies. My abs are relaxed. My glutes are relaxed. And take my gentle breath in. I'm going to start that exhale and go down into my squat, maintaining that weight over my foot tripod and the length through the back of my neck. I'm going to start my inhale with that idea of just floating up. I exhale gently through my nose, go down into my squat, maintaining that alignment, stopping at any point where I feel that my alignment is changing. I'm going to start my inhale and float back up. Exhale, squatting down, maintaining that alignment. I inhale to come back up. I feel my abdominals are not being squeezed. My glutes are working, but they're not squeezing. Exhale to go down, maintaining that weight over my foot tripod, that gentle length through the back of my neck. Gentle inhale, and I feel as though I float back up, staying open. Starting that exhale and going back down. Gentle inhale and floating back up. Good, relax there. Just check in. Are your glutes relaxed? If not, let them go. If you feel like you're holding your abdominal area, let it go, it's okay. And then gently let your arms come to your side. How'd you do with that? Did you find it challenging to not want to squeeze as you were going into those exercises? It's okay, it's a process. We've all gone through it. Sometimes we're still going through it depending on the day. It's okay. The importance is we're helping you retrain and rethink how you see exercise, and how you're doing exercise. Is it efficient and is it really supporting your spine and joint health? So let's go ahead and reassess what we looked at when we started earlier. So go ahead, stand with your feet about hip width apart. Go ahead and close those eyes. Get a sense of your weight over your feet now. Does it feel more even now, side to side? Does it feel more centered in your foot? Just take that in for a second. We didn't do anything with your feet. We just talked about your foot tripod. Good. Now bring those feet together. Place your hands on those hips. And go ahead and turn, keeping your feet flat on the floor. Turn to the right as far as you can go comfortably. Come back to center and then to the left. Come back to center. And as you do that now, take in, does that quality feel any smoother? Does your range feel more equal? It's not necessarily did you get more range. Does it feel more equal? Maybe you got more range, but it should also feel more equal side to side. Good. Arms at your side, thumbs facing towards me. Go ahead and let those arms come up overhead and back down. Again, up overhead and back down. How does that feel now? Do they feel as though they're floating up a little bit more than they did before? Is there maybe less crinking and cracking as you do that? And then finally, let's go ahead and check your balance. Feet are relatively together. Go ahead and stand onto that right leg and down, onto that left leg and down. Right leg. And just ask yourself, does it feel easier to stand on that leg that was more challenging? And does it feel like it's less effort to go side to side? Your challenge for this week is to do this every day. Go through this set of exercises. Use the video if it's helpful, but go ahead. It may be helpful because you need to hear those new cues this gentler way of moving. It's changing your habits is really what it comes down to. So I hope this served you. I encourage you to practice this. We're building that foundation that's going to help you build your body to last. Thanks so much. This is Janice Maddock with Integrative Movement Institute and the Integrative Movement System. I wish you a wonderful day.